Yes.
Okay. Start a meeting, people. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Hi, hi.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, we have Richard Dunseith. Are you in any way related to James, maybe? You are muted, Richard. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, there we go. I'm James's dad.
You are James's dad? That's amazing.
Whoa,
That's
cool.
amazing. He sent you here to learn? That's cool. That's very cool.
Yes.
That's very cool. Welcome, welcome. Welcome everybody else. Corina, Kevin, Usama, Rex, Afia, Angela, Michele or Michelle, depending on where you are from. Ilya. Hi, everybody.
Morning.
My name is Philip. I will be only on audio today because my internet connection is not great. And Lucio here will be my co-host. So when I inevitably mess up, he will correct me. If you want to take maybe a few minutes, we can go around and introduce a little bit on who you are and how come you ended up here. So maybe we can start, I don't know, let's say, Corina, maybe you can start. If you don't want, it's also perfectly fine. Someone else can, you can raise your hands with the reactions and then we can go there.
I can go ahead. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Corina.
Hi. Yeah, my name is Corina. I'm calling in from Berlin in Germany. And I'm pretty new to the Cardano community. Probably since October, November, when I met Felix, and I'm part already in several projects like the Leadership Academy and some other interesting stuff. So, and why I'm here, because I mean, kind of surfed myself a little bit through the whole information, but I kind of want to get to know this introduction to Catalyst because I'm trying to introduce others to it. So I'm very curious how you usually doing it and where I can find some material. Yeah, and I'm a designer, social entrepreneur, working a lot in like impact measurement and sustainable transformation processes, doing a lot of research. So this is more or less my profile.
Thank you very much.
Shall I just hand over or? Better.
Yes, do we have any other volunteers? Please just unmute and talk. It's perfectly fine.
Okay, I'm Eshia from the Wada Ghana team. I've been with the community since last year, March, so I'm almost a year
Hi,
now.
Afia.
Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can
Yes,
you hear
we
me?
can hear you.
Okay, so I've been with the community for almost a year now, and keep on learning. So I'm here to learn more.
Very nice. Afia has came to these sessions a couple of times already. I'm happy to see her again. Richard, please, I'm gonna put you a little bit on the spot, but I'm really interested to hear how come you're joining us today.
Right. Well, James, as you know, has been involved with this thing for quite a long time. He's been trying to get me a little bit more active with it. And so I'm here mostly to learn. I'm looking at becoming a community advisor. So this would be my first funding round to be involved with it. I live in Vermont in the United States, and it's cold up here. That's why I'm dressed rather warm. And just here to learn as much as I can and get started with this and see if I can help out in any way. Oh, as far as my background goes, I'm retired now, and I was in financial services for 30 years, helping out individual clients with their financials, investments and so forth.
That's very nice. We're very happy to have you, and I'm sure James is proud to have pushed you in.
I'm proud of what he's doing.
Yeah, that's amazing. So in short, my plan would be we have a presentation ready. So we're going to go through the presentation in about, I hope, 20-30 minutes. And all the rest of the time will be for questions. We hope to kind of wrap it up within 1 hour, but if we stay a bit longer, we stay a bit longer. That's okay. Feel free to unmute whenever you feel like and ask questions. Alternatively, you can raise your hands with the reactions. So in the bottom, you have a reactions button on Zoom, and then you have raise hand functionality. Whenever you have a question, it's perfectly fine. That's what we are here for. Now give me a moment to see how I can share the screen. Okay, share screen. Okay, you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, okay, cool. So Catalyst School. This is a workshop by the Catalyst School. Catalyst School is a community initiative, working with people who just got to know each other within Catalyst and now trying to educate new participants and trying to spread the word about what we're doing and how we are doing it. And here we have some of our partners. Project Catalyst run as an IOG, let's say, initiative. Eastern Town Hall. This is intended as a so Town Hall is a weekly meeting that we have in Catalyst where we kind of receive the news and we exchange the news. But the problem is that it's suited for, let's say, the Western Hemisphere. The people from the Eastern Hemisphere. It's in a bad time for them. So that's kind of why the community decided to create an Eastern Town Hall to kind of do it in a similar way for the east side of the world. We have Catalyst Swarm, a decentralized group of people trying to connect and share experiences. WADA, like Afia said, is a West Africa decentralized alliance. They are doing a lot of educational work and other projects in West Africa. AIM is here as well. Lucho is part of AIM. They are tool makers and they create the voting tool and CA tool, and they're doing an amazing job. And of course, last but definitely not the least, we have Gemba Labs, who are run by James, and they are a technical society of people. They are now growing. They have Pluto project-based learning for Plutus, for Haskell. They're doing amazing things. So these are some of our, partners, co-workers, peoples we like to, put in front. So what is Catalyst School? Catalyst School is a place to leverage the impact of Catalyst as a whole by introducing and improving the contribution of all its different players and roles. So, okay, let me hear you a little bit. So what do you guys think Catalyst is, or what is Catalyst for you? Or do you even, do you have an opinion? Do you have any knowledge about Catalyst?
Hi, Philip. This is Kareem from Dubai.
Hi, Kareem. Hi, Kareem.
Okay. Catalyst, as far as I understand it, is the governance. Would you call it the governance layer within Cardano? The Cardano.
I would.
Yeah, ecosystem, and that's how I would, I guess, name it or categorize it.
Sure. Very fair. Anyone else? No, everybody's shy today. Okay, that's fine. So yes, Catalyst is governance layer of Cardano. Internally in IOG, it's called the Voltaire testnet, Voltaire being the final phase of Cardano development. And but my point is that Catalyst means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. You know, some people would say that it's a community and they feel at home when they are in Catalyst. They feel accepted, they feel understood. Some people would say that it's a business opportunity, it's a decentralized fund where you can get money for your idea. Some people would say that it's a learning experience. Some people would, you know, there's, depending on which side of which place you are in life or you are in your career, there are different ways to look at Catalyst, and Catalyst is all of that and much more, right? So it's kind of sometimes difficult for us to you know, navigate through all the options of Catalyst and through all the social and technical dynamics of it. So the Catalyst School is here to kind of, you know, ease that process as much as possible. So what do we do in Catalyst School? We have live sessions and workshops like this one. This is introducing Project Catalyst. This is like for the new people, newbies. We have one-to-one and group multi-language support. You know, we have collaborators who are from different countries in the world. So if you need specific help in your language, you can get that in our Discord. There are many different roles in Catalyst. We'll go through some of them today, but we will, there are specific workshops to go into detail, like CAs, communities, community advisors or veteran community advisors, proposers, things like that. And we have a website that I am not sure it's 100% operational yet. But it is.
It's coming soon, really soon. We are finalizing it.
It's coming soon. The favorite words in crypto projects in general, you know, it's coming soon. It's just around the corner. So, so yeah, we spoke a little bit about Project Catalyst. So here are some of the, you know, some of the ideas of what Project Catalyst is. So, safe environment to explore the highest potential of human collaboration, right? What does that mean? That means that in a perfect scenario, Catalyst will grow to become the governance layer of Cardano. It will grow to become a place where people will make any and all decisions regarding Cardano, whether it's funding, whether it's a protocol itself, whether it's you know, different parameters, whether it's whatever. This is like in a perfect scenario, right? It is an innovative idea marketplace. Like anything goes in Catalyst. You can whatever idea you have, you can try, you can pitch it to the community, you can get some traction for it, and you can get money for it because Catalyst distributes money through funding rounds. And each fund has different challenges as sub-funds where proposers can apply for funding, right? So if you have an idea, a technical or a non-technical idea or a community idea or whatever, and you think that it would be beneficial for Cardano and the development of Cardano and bringing more users in, educating people, whatever, there every 3 months, there is a new fund starting in Catalyst where this money is distributed to these ideas, to people having them. And Lucio, maybe you can help me here. How much money are we distributing in Fund 8?
In Fund 8, $60 million will be distributed.
Yes,
Yep.
$16 million in Fund 8 for, I don't know how many challenges, but I would say 15 or something like that.
Around 20, yeah.
Around 20 challenges. We'll get to what challenges are maybe in the next slide. Okay, so the next slide is about roles. So we have Catalyst roles here, and these are actually all of these roles are kind of official, quote unquote, official roles. So the first thing you can be in Catalyst.
Could I ask a quick question?
Yeah, of course, Kevin. Yes.
Is it possible for you to put the presentation in presentation mode so it covers 100% of the screen rather than
it would be,
60% of it?
that can, but it would be then I will not be able to see the chat. So please just don't try. Okay, I will be able to see the chat. Okay, yes, thank you, Kevin. Yes, this is better. Nice. So first we have the proposer. The proposer is the individual or a group that submits a proposal in Catalyst. So you have an idea, you yourself as an individual, or you have a small team or a large team, and you have a proposal, a project, and you would like some funding to execute it. If you log into IdeaScale, which is our platform to interact with Catalyst, if you submit a proposal, which is like a text, that officially makes you a proposer, right? We'll get maybe a bit more into depth of what that means, but for now, let's just say someone who is looking for funding in Catalyst is a proposer. Now we have community advisors and veteran community advisors, or in short, they are called CAs and VCAs. Do you hear? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. All good.
Yes, everything okay? Okay. Okay, so we have CAs and VCAs. CAs and VCAs are community members responsible for assessing proposals and checking the quality of the assessments. We'll go through the process of Catalyst in one or two slides, but basically CAs are there to read through proposals that were made by proposers by the previous role and give their assessments of those proposals. Do they make sense? Are they impact? The CAs rate proposals on 3 points: impact, feasibility, and auditability. So how large of an impact would that proposal have? Is it feasible? And can it be audited if funded, basically? And they give a star rating 1 to 5, and that star rating is shown then to the voters. And VCAs, veteran community advisors, are like a quality check to kind of check again the CA's work. So there is no manipulation, there is no cheating or things like that, right? It's important to say that community advisors and veteran community advisors are incentivized through rewards. And these are like rewarded functions. If you're a CA, you get paid for your work. If you're a VCA, you get paid for your work. That's important to know. We have voters. Of course, everyone who holds ADA, at least 500 ADA in a wallet, can participate in the Catalyst voting process. So in the end, all of the proposals go to the voting ballot, and then everybody participating, everybody in the world who has at least 500 ADA can vote for or against a project or a proposal to get funded. And the highest voted projects get funded, and others don't. They have the chance in the next round as well. There are, of course, more intricacies with it, but let's now just go through it and then we can go into more details later. Now, there is a role of referrer.
Can I ask another question?
Yes, of course, Kevin.
So on the basis that all systems will be abused, and the more complex the system, the more chances there are to abuse the system.
Exactly.
If all I need to be a voter is 500 ADA, how do you prevent a malicious party or multiple malicious parties getting involved and only having to put in 500 ADA to completely screw up the voting?
Because I didn't mention, it's not a democratic process, it's a plutocratic process. It's one ADA is one vote. It's not one wallet is one vote. So if you, let's say you buy 10,000 ADA and you open 200 wallets, that's not 200 votes. That's the same as having one wallet with 10,000 ADA in it.
And how many votes?
10,000 votes. One ADA equals one vote. So the more
Right.
ADA you
So
have.
for someone to abuse the system, they just have to buy more ADA.
Yes, just to give you an idea of the scale that is required to abuse the system. Lucio, if you maybe have somewhere the Fund 7 results, you need about 200 to 300 million ADA voting for you to receive $100,000 or $200,000 in ADA. So the feasibility of the attack vector is very dubious, you know.
But that ADA that is being used to vote isn't there all the time, right? So you could essentially create a huge amount of ADA, vote.
No, you couldn't.
And then
you're voting with your real ADA. You cannot print it out of anywhere.
No. Once you have used your ADA to vote, you can then convert your ADA to something else.
Yes, but you would need, like I said, you would need at least 100 million ADA to really ensure your vote. With the current price, that's about 100 million US dollars.
Yeah, that's not a,
you
that's
have
not
that
a,
kind of, you know.
That's not a large number. If someone's is malicious, don't forget, you don't need $100 million. You need $100 million for the time it takes to vote, because then you convert it back into dollars. So you don't actually need the money. You just need a loan of 100 million for what, 20 seconds?
Not for, well, for you until you get the what's it called, the snapshot, but let's say for 20 seconds, yes. And the goal is, what would your goal be? To fund some proposals or to just mess with the system?
I don't know, mess with the system. Every system out there is going to get messed with.
Sure. Yeah, that's definitely I would say a vector of attack. I would still argue that it's not practical and it takes a lot of effort, and to kind of snap buy 100 million ADA and to snap sell them back is definitely possible, but it's not a trivial thing, and the money lost in that process basically just on trading fees would be a lot. So there is always a game theoretical, you know, concept of, is it worth it, right? And if someone is really just willing to attack,
I would point out a theory is only a theory until it actually happens.
Exactly. No, it's and it's.
So you might want to think about it before it happens.
It's bound to happen. Yes, of course. We had seen several smaller scale, let's say, attacks, or you know, we had a botnet active in Fund 7 that just created community advisor assessments just to receive as many rewards as possible. It was detected by VCAs and removed, but definitely there are a lot of, you know, attack vectors that can be used in Project Catalyst.
And I would add also that in Catalyst, one really important thing is that the iterative approach that we have to everything. So it's kind of we adapt every single round to something new that we observe. So obviously, this is not the best choice, because being proactive probably is better. But as for now, with the scale of the ADA involved in the voting, there is no notice about any kind of attack in this kind of way. So it's kind of, I don't know. Anyway, I think the community and in general Project Catalyst will try to adapt if something like that will happen in the future.
Okay, just one last question. How many voters are there at the moment?
In the last
Can
fund,
say
if I'm not wrong, 50,000 wallets registered for votes. And if I'm not wrong, 3 billion of ADA registered for votes. But I could be wrong.
I think it's about 3.6 billion ADA. But wallets, I didn't know. So about 50,000 wallets, but we don't know how many, you know, really how many people are behind those wallets. That's kind of.
Okay, thanks.
I just have one additional question to ask there. This voting now is for funding.
Yes.
To Catalyst. Will this eventually turn into voting on governance and so forth? Is that the plan, or is this strictly going to stay as Catalyst a funding role, basically?
Well, the goal is to upscale it eventually to governance, to on-chain governance, but still it's a very raw system. It's a very raw idea, and it's very early in its development, right? So we have ideas like DCF, Decentralized Consortium Fund, that would be another layer of governance that would be more technical, you know, for protocol level parameter change or things like that. So a lot of these questions we cannot, you know, I don't think even IOG has a very clear picture because, you know, really on-chain governance of any serious kind is very, very difficult to achieve. And it's a monumental effort, and it's never been done before fully to the extent that Cardano wants to do it, right? So we're still very much at play here. We're just experimenting, iterating very quickly. When we inevitably mess something up, we fix it like Lucia said, we patch it up, we find ways to improve, and we iterate. But right now, Richard, it is about funding, and the funds are getting doubled every fund. So we started with $250,000 fund was fund one, I think. No, actually, fund one was zero, just playing. Fund two was 250,000, and then we doubled it every fund until today. So we have the next role here that we have is a referrer. That is a Catalyst member who brings someone new to propose in Catalyst. So you, let's say you're active in Catalyst and you have a friend who is a technologist, and you tell them, hey, if you want to build something on Cardano, you can apply for funding here. And if that friend gets funded, you get the referral reward. He just needs to put your email down as the one who referred them to Catalyst, and you get the reward if that person or group gets funded. So these are all like voters are incentivized as well for voting. Very little incentive, but it's still there. CAs and VCAs are incentivized, referrers are incentivized, of course, proposers are incentivized only if they win. But there is a game theoretical approach in this whole Catalyst deal that we basically pay people to participate as much as we can and in a sustainable way. So the next role we have is a Catalyst circle, and this is something relatively new. It's now in its third iteration. We have elected community members that represent key groups in the Cardano ecosystem and work together to improve the Catalyst process. In the Catalyst circle, it consists of a member from IOG, member from CF, a member from Catalyst community advisors, member from SPOs, stake pool operators, member from tool makers and maintainers, member of funded proposers. That's 6, and general ADA holders, like a catch-all, everybody else. So these are like 7 people who are, let's say, democratically elected. Also, this process needs to be improved significantly, but they are elected publicly, and they are elected, and they work together as a sensor array to kind of interact with the wider community, listen to their problems, and then put them all together in a group and discuss. We have the Catalyst Circle admin team, who are just supporting the Catalyst Circle facilitator, someone who, you know, facilitates the meeting, secretary who takes notes, and all the meetings are recorded, everything is transparent, transcribed, and things like that. We have challenge teams. Challenge teams are also a relatively new thing. They are active since Fund 7, since the previous fund. So like we said before, we have these sub-funds in each fund, right? We have $16 million in Fund 8 that will be distributed. But then we have specific challenges, like, let's say, dApps and integrations. Chris here is a member of the dApps and integrations challenge team. Or we have cross-chain collaboration. Or we have, I don't know, DAOs love Cardano. So we have these sub-funds that are specific for a certain subject or a challenge, right? So for dApps and integrations, let's say we have, I don't know how much, $500,000 or whatever. So you apply for funding in that category, and your proposal needs to be directly tied to that category, to that sub-fund, right? And the challenge team is responsible for stewarding, to kind of take care of that challenge, to speak, to resolve any doubts proposers have with that challenge, maybe to clarify additionally the challenge statement, to be someone who proposer can ask questions and rely on to get as close as possible to the vision of that challenge and tackling the problem that that challenge does. So I don't know if I was clear, but these are the roles. Maybe we can take a minute or two to comment about these roles. Lucio, did I maybe forget something? Do you want to add something?
I think it was quite clear. I would say another probably no written duty of the challenge team is to facilitate the collaboration within the challenge between the teams, because it's kind of, I don't know, a key factor in Catalyst is always try to create new collaborations with other teams, because we experienced that in the past merged proposals. So when teams comes together, instead of running only with their own proposal, they have higher chances to get funded, because obviously they can cover they can cover a solution in a better way, and also probably reach more people out.
Anyone else wants to add some? Okay, rabbit hole.
I have a question, Philip. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Karim, and then we have rabbit hole after you. Yeah.
So I'm planning to propose a project to submit in this fund, and my question is, as somebody who's a proposer, am I also able to vote on other projects?
Yes, absolutely. Voters are anonymous, and voters can vote on anything they want to, and it's, you know, it's kind of a democratic human right to be able to vote, and So you can vote on anything you want. That's not a problem. But also maybe something to mention. Some of these roles are exclusive, some are not. So if you are a proposer, you can also be a community advisor and a veteran community advisor. But in order to not have, what is it called?
A conflict of interest.
Thank you, Luch. Conflict of interest. You are not, if you, let's say you propose in a category dApps and integrations, you are not allowed to do assessments as a CA in, of course, your proposal. You cannot assess your own proposal, but you can also not assess any other proposals within that category. Same goes for VCAs, right? For now, this is currently checked by IOG because you have to register as a community advisor and veteran community advisor via email. Also, to explain a bit more further, CAs are anonymous. Your name, first and last name, is never shared for CAs, but VCAs are not anonymous. VCAs give their reviews with their first and last name, and they are held accountable for that. Voters are anonymous. Referrers can be if they want. They don't have to, but they are anonymous. Catalyst Circle members are definitely not anonymous. You have to apply and go through a small election process. Catalyst Circle admins and challenge teams are not anonymous. Please, rabbit hole. Sorry for
quick. One last question, Philip, before you jump to rabbit hole. So, what's the qualification process to become a veteran community advisor?
For VCA, currently you just have to have the experience of being a CA for one fund. So let's say if you've never been a CA or VCA, you can now apply in Fund 8 to be a CA, and then in Fund 9 you are eligible to be a VCA. Rabbit hole, please.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I am zooming in from Australia. My name is Stefano Montanari. I am the stakepool operator of Rabbit Hole, hence the name of the thing. I just was wondering if you were going to touch on the specifics of the process of submitting an application. A friend and I, who is also in the audience, are in the process of thinking about submitting an application for Fund 8. And I was wondering if you were going to touch on the specifics of the difference, for example, between an insight and the actual proposal of the fund request.
Well, this particular workshop should not be at, let's say, a deep dive, but we'll try to go through a bit, a bit more detail than what was planned. But definitely, if you want, you can reach out to Lucio, to me, or Chris, or someone if you need some additional help, and we'll help you out.
And also,
and there will be more workshops.
Yep. There is a workshop tomorrow at 18 UTC about a specific for proposing in Catalyst.
Thank you.
Yes. Also, if you maybe cannot make it, I think, Lucio, there is also in the Catalyst School YouTube, there are how to propose workshops from previous funds. So maybe we can share that as well. But let's go through the funding cycle. Like I said, one cycle is about 3 months, and I will just shortly go through different phases of each cycle. So the first phase is this insight sharing phase, and this insight sharing phase is actually for Fund 8. It's starting this week. I believe it's ending on Thursday. It started last Thursday. It's ending this Thursday. Within this phase, we are just, like it says, sharing insights. You're just brainstorming ideas, thinking on how to improve the process. This is not a place to put a proposal forward. This is not a place to you know, propose and get your idea out there. This is a place where what did we learn from the previous fund? How can we improve for the next fund, etc. It takes 1 week where people who are, you know, let's say a bit more seriously devoted to Catalyst, we hang around, we talk, what can we improve for the next fund so that everybody has a better experience, right? Then we have the next phase is the proposal submission phase. Now, this is the important phase for all the proposers. In that phase, you have 1 week to submit an initial idea of your project, of your proposal, whatever you're trying to do. Keep in mind, it doesn't need to be a finished idea, a finished proposal. It can only be a placeholder, but it needs to be proposed, it needs to be submitted within this time window, within this 1 week. Because if you miss this window, you have to wait for the next fund. You just have to submit something within this 1 week. After that, you'll have 2 more weeks or even 3 more weeks, I'm not sure, to kind of fix it, but you have to submit something within this week. Okay, this is the proposal submission phase. Then we have the proposal refinement phase. This phase is intended as giving proposers an additional week to think about their proposal, improve it, add things that are missing, receive feedback from the community, which is very, very important. People will write comments under your proposal, sharing their thoughts, sharing their ideas. And your job as a proposer is to kind of take all of that in, think about it, how to improve, think about how much money you want to ask for. Can you maybe partner up with someone else who has a similar proposal, things like that, right? Then we have the proposal finalizing, which is basically the same as proposal refinement with the important difference that the comments are disabled in this phase, in this week, at least on idea scale. And I'll show you idea scale in a little bit. Idea scale is like a website where you have to interact with all of this. So it's basically another week where you can improve on your proposal, think about it, you know, add, remove things, whatever. It's just now that the commenters are silenced and you cannot, there is no option for commenters to add comments to give you, you know, more feedback. The time for that is past. And so when that passes, when that proposal finalizing passes, your proposal is locked in. You cannot change it after that. It's done. What you wrote, and you will be assessed and voted on that effort. In this week, proposal assessment by CAs, community advisors go through all of the proposals that are put in on idea scale and give them a rating between 1 star and 5 stars based on 3 different questions regarding impact, feasibility, and auditability. There will be again a specific workshop for CAs, community advisors, specific workshop for VCAs, veteran community advisors. So I would not go too much detail right now about this, but basically they take a week to kind of assess your proposals. Then there is about 5 days where these assessments are reviewed by veteran community advisors. So some of them get filtered out. Also, I would say that, no, I'm sorry, I messed up. In these 5 days, the proposers, so you as a proposer, have a chance to read the assessments. So let's say, for example, Lucio is proposing, I want to make a Cardano ATM, and he made a proposal. And now in the CA week, I am a CA, and I made an assessment Lucio is a bad man and I hate him and I don't want to see him get funded. So Lucio thinks that this is not really an objective assessment. So he can flag, he has 5 days to flag my assessment. He says, hey, this guy is treating me unfairly. He did not read the proposal. He did not give an objective view of it. I don't want this to affect my rating going to the voters, right? So he flags it. He says, okay, this is unfair. Cool. And now in the next 10 days, the veteran community advisors have a duty to go through all the flags and see if these assessments are fair or not, or they are not fair, right? And then basically it's a decision on them to say, okay, Philip didn't do this properly and we're just going to remove his assessment. Or, you know, Lucio is just crying for no reason, so we're going to keep the assessment in, right? And that's kind of the process. Now, keep in mind, the process is definitely not perfect and it has a lot of, you know, potential pitfalls and downfalls, and we're always trying to iterate every fund to make it better. And it is much better than it was in Fund 3, let's say, but there are still ways to improve.
I would add only just one thing, that basically veteran community advisor will review all the assessments, not the only ones flagged by the proposers. The flag by proposers is just a way to prioritize this kind of evaluation and also to offer exactly. The proposer perspective about a specific assessment. But the VCAs will review all the assessments.
Exactly, that's true. Like Lucio said, it's just that the flags are kind of, let's say, have a priority because that's where for sure there is some kind of a, you know, something dubious that needs to be checked. But all of the assessments are checked by VCAs. And then when all of that is said and done, the proposals with their assessments are going to the voting app, are going to the ballot, and the community is voting for about 2 weeks. We have 2 weeks to vote and then another week for tallying of the vote and to, you know, publish the results. And then after that, we go back to insight sharing and we start the next fund. So that's the cycle in short. Now, do we have any questions about the cycle? Do you want us to go something a bit more deeper into or something?
Every cycle takes approximately how long?
3 months, give or take. It's always a bit chaotic, you know. Sometimes there's a couple of days here, a couple of days there, but about 3 months, about 3 months. Okay, if we don't have any questions about this. So where does the money come from? Does anybody know where does the money come from?
Comes from the Cardano treasury, no?
It comes from the Cardano treasury, exactly. And does anyone know how the Cardano treasury gets filled?
I'm pretty sure it comes from the transaction fees. No?
Transaction fees, and I think we still have the inflation. The supply gets increased every time, so a little bit of that inflation is going to the treasury. So this is maybe not a crucial information for someone in, you know, proposing or CAing or whatever, but it is a very important thing to understand as a wider, you know, Cardano participant. Of course, there's not an unlimited amount of money, so not everybody can get funded for everything, and we need to be aware where the money comes from and how much do we have it. Now, currently, I think there is about, please don't quote me on this, but I would say about 700 million ADA is in the treasury. So we're just tapping to a very small amount of that treasury currently, because we are very aware that we're still learning, experimenting, iterating. So, you know, this is just a small amount of what is actually available, but we understand the risk would be much higher and the attack vectors would be much more used if we, you know, if we just let's say increase the funding amount to $200 million, because then it would make sense to have an attack vector, to invest $50 million into an attack vector, right? Right now, maybe it doesn't, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But the more, you know, the more money is at stake, the more, you know, more people will come to take that money. So a small percent of all transaction fees and staking profits collected in the treasury and spent in Project Catalyst. How much funding enters the treasury per month? That's a good question. Lucio, I cannot Google now, but if you go to Cardano Blockchain Insights, I think there is a treasury graph and you can maybe share it to the chat. There is a graph, one stake pool operator created this community website where we can follow the treasury amount per epoch, per day, I think even. So,
Philip, while we're on this topic of funding, when are the funds made available after the voting results? From the time the voting results are out, how long does it take?
Good question. So let's say the main philosophy is about, let's say IOG will release about $5,000 per month, usually. Go ahead, Lucio.
It changed. Basically, when you are funded as a proposals, you have to declare basically the delivery date of your proposal, and the amount that you requested will be divided in, for each month you need to get to the delivery date. So basically, if you asked, for example, $9,000 and you set 3 months as a delivery date, you will receive four chunks of money. The first one, it's just to show up in the first court meeting, and then the other 3 chunks each month. So, and obviously to receive the last chunk, you have to deliver actually your proposal. So you have to prove that you have to prove that you have finished your project and you have to publish it somewhere.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so what does voting power mean? We went through it a little bit, but yeah, it's the weight of your vote, and it's determined by the amount of stake data. Yes, also something that I didn't mention, those 500 data that you need to vote with, they need to be staked to a staking pool. Like that wallet that you're voting with needs to be staked. And it is a plutocratic system, so the people with a lot of ADA, their vote counts more. Is it perfect? No, it isn't, but you know, the logic between that plutocratic system is that people with the largest amount of ADA have the most to lose, let's say, with the bad governance decision, right? That's kind of the leading idea. The more ADA that you have, good decisions for the ecosystem should positively impact the price of ADA, thus indirectly earning you more money. So it is in your best interest as a rational economic actor to work, you know, to work positively, collaboratively in voting and in Catalyst.
It's really interesting. Just to just a comment on what Kevin was asking about the attack vector. I think it's really interesting that you have to have staked ADA that's staked. So if it's 100 million, so the instantaneous in and out wouldn't work. When you stake, it takes about 10 days, I think, for your ADA to be staked, right? and then if it's staked, you earn money on that, right? So if it's 100 million and you've staked it, obviously for a year, the revenue on that is 5%. So I think that's all part of the whole protocol. It was just a comment about what Kevin was asking about the attack vector.
Definitely, and it is a part of the protocol, and there are a lot of technicalities, of course, every time, someone first hears about this or similar, of course, the first question is, how can I game it? How can I, screw it over? And there are a lot more attack vectors, but first of all, I'm not, technical enough to analyze all of them. Second, we don't have the time for it, but definitely, what I would suggest, there is a governance paper. If someone, has the energy and will to go through, there is a paper, I think, published in 2017 or 18 by Dr. Kiayas. You can find it on the IOHK Library of Research Papers, where this system of voting is presented. And, community advisors and voters. And there are different attack vectors described and different interests and things like that. But then again, it's a scientific paper. It's not, it's not light reading, but there are these questions have been addressed by people who are far more, professional than me. So you can look that up for yourself and make your own decisions.
I'm not sure if there's a solution to this problem, but I'm sure we would potentially all agree that before blockchain and all this kind of stuff happened, it's been proved time and time again that the people with the loudest voices, that doesn't really correlate to the best ideas. So it looks like this whole voting system is based on the same thing. Those with the loudest voices and the deepest pockets get to essentially make the decisions, which obviously is a problem. But as I said, I'm not sure if there's a solution to that problem, but it's just one that hits me in the face, especially as when people kind of talk about blockchain, crypto, and all these sorts of things. It's meant to be supposedly a new environment where all of those bad things don't happen, but I can't see how they don't happen. You just change.
I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly, more than you know. But also, I cannot even imagine a system that simply, it's nice in theory to say, hey, yes, we're all having the same voice and we're all having the same impact and all of that. But we know in non-blockchain life, that if your pockets are deep enough, no matter what kind of system of voting there is, you can always bribe someone, or you can always, find your way to influence it. And I don't think, cryptographic technology is gonna solve that completely. Maybe it can ease it up a little bit. I don't know. There's definitely interesting, identity solutions coming up, like Atala Prism. And maybe we can somehow tie the unique identity of the voter to the wallet or to a voting, system, where it can be a combination of plutocratic and democratic, system. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But this is definitely a hell of a problem, and it's a societal problem. It's a sociological problem spanning for thousands of years, right?
And I would add also that there are different ways to influence the voting results. Basically, even just being a community advisor, it's a way to provide some information to the voters, and you have an influence doing that. So basically, even without, the various roles that are part of the catalyst process are a way to influence the final outcome. So it's not only, in the end, obviously it depends by how voters will vote, obviously, but maybe an higher or a lower rating can influence the decision made by the voters themselves.
We did the analysis. Victor actually did the analysis of previous funds, and there is a very high correlation between community advisor scores and the proposal is actually getting funded, right? Basically, if you have a score lower than, I don't know, 3.1, you have a lot slimmer chance to get funded than if you have a score of 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, right? So there's a lot to say about the influence of different groups, about how to game it, how to, you know, play with it. And yeah, like I said, it's not perfect, but again, any other system that I saw is not perfect. So it's
there's a famous Winston Churchill quote, which says that democracy is the worst system ever invented by man, except for all the others.
Except for all the others, yeah. Yeah,
I would also point out that whilst just to go back to my first worry about, you know, people with deep pockets, there are many people in deep pockets. For example, Zuckerberg dropped $500 million on the last election, and George Soros kind of, you know, spends that every breakfast.
I mean, without getting, you know, into too much political, I love the comments, Kevin, and these are all, you know, important subjects that we in Catalyst, when we go deeper, we tackle them in the best ways we can, and we discuss them and we try to improve them, especially the CA group, I would say. But we're now just trying to, you know, introduce the people to the system. And then if anyone wants to go very deep into it, if you want to do research, if you want to do your own experimentation, there is so many things you can do, so many things you can influence, and so many ways how you can engage. So how does the voting system work? Let's just go over how does the voting system work. Voters can vote for or against proposals. So let's say, again, just for the sake of argument, Lucio has his ATM, you know, Cardano ATM proposal. Cool. Kevin, Richard, Karim, and me are voting, you know, in the fund. Let's say Richard has 20,000 ADA voting power. Kevin has 5,000. Karim has 15, and I have 501 ADA, right? So Richard doesn't like Lucio's proposal, he votes no. So Richard has 20,000 ADA of voting power. So now Lucio's balance is minus 20,000 ADA of voting power, right? Cool. Kevin has, how much did we say? 5,000 ADA. He likes the proposal, he votes yes. Okay, now Lucio's balance is minus 15,000. Karim has 15,000, he votes yes as well. Now it's 0. I have 501 and I vote yes. So now his balance is positive and he has 501 ADA voting for his proposal, right? First condition that the proposal gets funded is that this balance is positive, right? In a wider, you know, first condition is that you need more people voting for you, more ADA voting for you than against you. The second condition, it needs to be 15% more of positive votes than of negative votes. Go ahead, Corina.
Yeah, just in between, what is the idea behind this minus voting or this down voting? Why is it not just a positive voting system?
Well, the negative or minus voting is there to say, hey, look, I don't like this, and I want to make a conscious decision that I don't like it, right? But it's on me as a voter. I don't have to vote. I can abstain also. If I abstain, then I don't participate in the vote for that specific proposal, right? We now just gave an example of one proposal where we all voted yes or no, right? But let's say Corina has 2 million ADA of voting power, but she decided to abstain. She simply didn't participate, right? So her voice hasn't been heard. Although her by herself could have decided that vote regardless of whatever the rest of us chose. rabbit hole.
Yes, just on this topic of positive and negative votes. So let's say that I have, 1,000 ADA voting power. Can I choose, and there's 100 proposals, must I vote on all of them, positive or negative, or can I just vote on one proposal?
You can vote on only one, or on 10, or on 100. Just keep in mind that your 1,000 ADA is 1,000 ADA for each of those proposals, right? Your voting power doesn't diminish or get split across a lot of proposals. Like if you vote on 5 proposals, you're always voting a plus 1,000 or a minus 1,000 ADA. Was I clear on that? Do you understand?
Yes, and yes, thank you. You answered the question exactly the way I needed to word it to ask it properly. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Kevin?
Yeah, so let's say I've got 20,000. I'm the person with 20,000. And I vote against one proposal, and I vote against another proposal, and I vote against another proposal. It may very well be that I really, really hate proposal 1. So I want all of my 20,000 to vote against proposal 1. Proposal 3, I really don't like it, so I want to downvote it, but I only want to downvote it. My feelings are only 10%.
I understand what you mean, but currently there is no option to do that. And well, actually there is, but you would have to do it manually. You would have to split your ADA into several different wallets, and then you can use one wallet with 1,000 ADA or 2,000 ADA just for the downvotes. But it would be a manual effort.
Just one question, sorry to butt in without my hand raised, in regards to what you just said. Does that mean that I would have multiple instances of the Catalyst voting app on my phone? Because I can't register multiple wallets on one Catalyst app, can I?
No, you cannot register multiple wallets on one Catalyst app, but you can re-enter the QR code and the PIN code, right? So let's say you finish voting with one wallet, you take the QR code of the other wallet, you scan that one, you vote, scan the third one, you scan the fourth one. It's a tedious process. I'm telling you right now, it would take serious effort, but it is possible. If you want to do that, it is possible. Okay, let's complicate a little bit more. So this is first condition was that we have more positive ADA votes than negative ADA votes. The second condition is that we have 15% more positive ADA votes than the negative ADA votes. So in our case, where Kevin said no, and all the rest of us said yes, Lucio has 500 ADA in favor, but 20,000 ADA against, right? And this is less than 15% difference, so Lucio's proposal will still not be funded. Okay, do we understand that? Cool. Now we go to the next level of complication. This is one we're going to get a little bit more. Let's say Lucio's proposal is in depths and integrations, right? And depths and integrations has $500,000, and Lucio is asking for $100,000, right? Cool. Let's say for the sake of argument that he got enough positive votes. Let's say that he has 1 million ADA voting, positive for him, and 100,000 ADA voting negative for him. So he has a net positive of 900,000 ADA of votes, right? But he is not the only proposal in that category, of course, right? There are other proposals. There are other proposals who have a more positive net vote, right? Maybe Karim's proposal has 2 million ADA voting net positive for him, right? Corina's has 3 million. Rabbit Holes has 4 million, right? So that's the priority that we align ourselves. So let's say Rabbit Holes has 4 million ADA. He has the most positive vote and he is asking for $200,000. Cool. He has the most positive vote. He's asking for 200K. The budget of the whole fund is 500K. He gets 200K. We go through the process again, right? We say, okay, who is after him? Corina, she has 3 million ADA voted for her. She is asking for 250,000 and we have 300,000 left. Okay, we give her 250,000. We go through the process again. And let's say we get to Lucio and he has enough positive votes, but now we have only 50K left in the fund. And he is asking for 100K. We don't fund Lucio, okay? Because we don't have enough money to fund him. We cannot partially fund him, so we don't fund Lucio. Maybe Karim has less positive votes than Lucio, but maybe Karim asked for 30K. We can fund Karim because we have enough money. Okay, now it is a bit complicated, but please understand that when you propose, keep in mind how much money do you want to take out of the fund, right? Because let's say the fund is $500,000. You can make a proposal for $500,000, but if you are not the first and highest rated in that fund, you will not get the money. End of story, right? Or you can ask for 10,000, 15,000, and even if you are 20th, 30th, 40th, maybe it will be enough, right? So there's something to consider there. Yeah, Lucio is the bad guy in all scenarios, except in real life. He's a really, really good guy in real life. So he can be a bad guy in the stories. So keep in mind, like when you are proposing, how much money you are asking as a percentage of the total available funds, right? Okay, was I clear on this? Please ask some questions here because it got a little bit complicated, but is it Michelle or Michele?
Is it Michele? Thank you.
Michele, okay, go ahead, Michele.
I was curious about the question of positive and negative votes. If I say ask for 100,000 in dollar in ADA, and does it influences on how many positive votes I have to have respect of the negatives, or the quantity, the budget requested is counts only in the case of the when founding and going down through the one chosen?
It just matters when it just matters compared to other proposals. So no, it doesn't matter how much. Let's say like an example where your proposal is very highly technical, right? And not a lot of people actually understand it, which happens sometimes. Okay. And let's say in total, we have, like Lucio said, in Fund 7, we have 3.59 billion ADA voting, right? Cool. But maybe for your proposal, only 1 million ADA voted, right? So in your case, you just need more than 15% of that 1 million ADA to be in your favor, because everybody else basically abstained on your particular proposal.
All right, and then the budget requested doesn't really count.
No, the budget requested doesn't count. But the thing is, if you have, let's say, 1 million ADA in total voted for your proposal, and let's say all of that million is in favor, so you have 1 million ADA net positive. But my proposal has 200 million ADA voted for it, and I have maybe only 10 million ADA net positive. So like, I don't know, 90 million voted no, 110 million voted yes, so I have 20 million positive, right?
Yeah.
I am way in front of you, right? Because I have 20 million positive and you have 1 million positive.
All right. Clear.
Do you understand? Because
Yeah.
a lot more people voted, a lot more ADA voted. So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Usama? I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Nothing. Is anyone else hearing him? Oh, it's because
Nope.
Zoom probably is, you know, microphone wrong setup. That's what usually happens to me. But we can try with Karim and then we'll try again, Usama. Don't worry, Usama.
Cool, cool. Well, Usama fixes his microphone for
Thank
Michigan.
yeah.
Quick question. As far as these challenges, I've scanned through the challenges for Fund 8, and I see that my proposal could fit on either of two. Who do you say, what's the best way to decide, let's say, which one to it fits under? Is this something that would happen with the community advisors? They would guide me, or?
No, you mean which category do you want to apply under? Yes, this
Yeah.
is a famous, you know, problem. That's
Okay.
why Lucio is laughing. You see, told you he's a bad guy. It's not always easy. It's not always easy. And yes, sometimes you know, let's say in Fund 8 you have developer ecosystem and you have open source developer ecosystem, right? And if you're doing open source, you can basically submit in any of them, of those two proposals or in two challenges. Sometimes it's difficult. Then I would say, like, as a tactic, I would say propose in the one that will have more money in it, because that increases your chances a little bit, or propose in the one that will be less populated, because that will increase your chances a little bit, right? But again, do it if you are sure that you are in line with the challenge proposal, because if you know, if you propose somewhere just because that challenge has more money, and then you kind of force your proposal to be part of that, CAs are going to see that, they're going to give you bad ratings,
yeah,
with reason, and you're not going to get funded most likely, right?
So a quick question for you then. So suppose I propose, I submit under B2C, B2B challenge, and then I decide, because I've received advice, is it possible to change or is it too late?
It is possible to change, and the mechanism to change is you text Marek. Marek is the IOG guy who does the idea scale integration, and you ask him very nicely, Marek, please change it. He loves that. He loves hundreds of people texting him. That's he really enjoys it.
And obviously you have to do that before the finalization stage, because obviously yes, when it goes through the ballot, you can't change it anymore. And one thing I would like to add, it's really a good advice to proposers to explain clearly in your proposal why you choose a specific challenge, because this could be a really good indication for community advisors. And this is particularly true when there is multiple possible challenges for your proposal. So it's kind of, if you explain your choice, it's more clear for everyone.
Thank you, Lucio. Thank you for that.
Yes, here linked into the. I'll get to you, Sama. Just 1 second. You have Fund 7 results here in this presentation that Lucio shared with you. And if you click on it, you'll see this, and this is a PDF with very detailed, you know, results. Votes yes, votes no, result, unique wallets, overall score, funded, not funded, leftover funds, you have very detailed overview of Fund 7, and you can really do a deep dive and kind of make all this math really, you know, understandable. If you just take 10-15 minutes, you know, you take one challenge and you kind of, you see voting result, it's here, it goes downward from there, and it will be much clearer. Usama, please, let's try one more time.
Yes, hello. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
very good. So sorry. So my question is, do you have any empirical percentage how should be the proposed budget compared to the total budget of the challenge in order to increase the chance?
We have the research done from Fund 5, I think in Fund 5, 6, I don't know if 7 is already out. Victor did the research. Victor is one of the founders of Catalyst School. And I had it somewhere. I don't really have it right now, or at least I don't know how to find it. But it is public. And from what I remember, I don't know, maybe Lucio will find the link or something. And if not, we will share it.
I'll try to.
Okay, yeah. But from what I remember, the golden zone is between 15 and 20% of the fund, in case you get very good results from CAs, right? If you have 4.3, 4.4, 4.5 assessment rating, you can ask for 15, 20%. There are outliers, of course, people asking for 30, 35, 40% and receiving funding, but very rarely. And of course, the lower you ask, the higher your chance. But like me personally, if I remember when I proposed, I would not go above 20. I would not go above 20.
And sorry, another question also regarding the budget. Could I, for example, make fragmentations of the budget? For example, yes, I make the 50% of the delivery, for example, with 50% of the budget. For example, I'm proposing for 100.
So you can do it like this. You can say, in 3 months, I will deliver this much of the project. And for this much of the project, I need, let's say, half of the budget. And I plan to reapply in the next fund. Or what is a bit more, you know, gamery, is that you break down your whole project into different sections and you apply. It is not allowed to apply in the same challenge with the same thing, but you can apply across different challenges, right? If a part of your project is to educate someone how to use your system, then you can put that in, I don't know, education challenge, whatever. You ask for 20K there, or 10K there. You ask for, if you have a dev highly tech, you ask in developer ecosystem, or, you know, you're developing some tooling, I don't know, you ask there. You have a DAO component, you ask it in there. You have an identity component, you ask it there. So that's what people usually do. They kind of try to split it around if they have a project of such a large scope.
Sorry, just last question. How much is it realistic regarding your experience to make this fragmentation of the project? That it means it's normal or it is usual to, for example, make a project with 1 year and then I say, okay, fund 8 with 20% or how much, 25% and so on, or the most of the projects are not long-term projects?
There are definitely long-term projects. I would not say that they are very often there, but like if you see liquid finance, if someone here is familiar with them, they proposed the first time in Fund 2, and since then I think they have been proposing in Fund 3, 4, and 5, maybe even later, I don't remember. You have DC Spark, which is a big, you know, tech company by Sebastian Guillemot. They have been proposing each fund. They have a very large scope idea around Cardano. So there are definitely, you know, larger scale projects that do that. It just, the problem there is that you never know if you're going to receive that funding. So you kind of have to accept the risk. You have to accept that, you know, if you hire 10 people, you may not get the money. If that's your only source of funding, there's a significant risk in that, right?
Yes, thank you.
Kevin? Kevin, you have your hand up, or from earlier? Nothing, okay. Rabbit hole.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to briefly go back to the question that Karim asked about how definitive the commitment to a specific challenge is, particularly when it comes to the insight part, which is what we're currently in for Fund 8. So at the moment, we're being asked to submit insights to a specific wording of the brief. Does that apply? Like how does that apply in terms of commitment to that particular brief when we submit the proposals?
So I would say that you have a commitment once you get funded. You have a commitment to deliver what is in your proposal. Okay, but I think your question was, how close do you need to be to the challenge, question, to the challenge description? Is that what you mean?
Yes, to some extent. So if I understand correctly, the concept of the insight, so the phase that we're in for Fund 8 at the moment is a way for us to sort of give our opinion as to how the brief for that particular challenge should be or could be changed before we have to submit our proposals. I'm not sure if I understand that correctly.
I think not. I think the challenges are voted. The challenges are also voted on in the previous fund. So challenge setting, challenge text, challenge brief is fixed. Insight sharing phase is here to share the insights of how we can improve the general, maybe something specific for that fund, but generally something that, you know, in the whole process.
I would say this is the stage to discover together a way to address the challenge. So it's kind of a way to go more in depth about a specific challenge and test out and share insight to the community in general on how to address the specific challenge brief. So it's kind of a way to better understand it.
Right. So it's not about my proposal or
Exactly.
our proposal. It's more about the challenge itself. How can we modulate this so that it's more, I don't know, digestible to the wider community?
I would say
it's about how to tackle the challenge, right? Let's say the challenge is cross-chain collaboration. How can we increase cross-chain collaboration? So in this phase, it's on us to talk about, hey, what would be something good to do? Should we contact people from Polkadot, Should we let them contact us? Should we make a meetup? Should we make a, you know, a bridge, smart contract, whatever? That is the insight sharing phase, is like sharing ideas of what can be done to tackle the challenge that is cross-chain collaboration, but not to change the challenge of cross-chain collaboration.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for the explanation.
You're welcome. Lucho did the most of it. Karim, please. You're muted, Karim, or at least I'm not hearing you. Is anyone else hearing Karim?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now yes, now yes.
Sorry. So my question is related to the previous question or comment that was made about phases, and you talked about liquid, you talked about DC Spark, and essentially, I've if you have a project, it has different phases and it has a roadmap. So you made a comment, and I'm not sure, I just wanted to get clarification on it. You said you're not allowed to submit to the same challenge. Is that what you said? I mean,
you're not allowed to, let's say, submit the same thing to the same challenge, right?
Okay.
I mean, how can I say? Yes, I know what you mean. Maybe you saw someone, maybe even DC Spark submitting in the same challenge, like 2 proposals, or maybe even 3, or someone, I don't know. But it's important to have them, if they are in the same challenge, to be different things, to be.
Absolutely. No, I wasn't referring to any other challenge. It's more about my proposal, and I have in my mind, I have a roadmap, and I want to begin, different phases and an MVP or a case study and things like that. So I just wanted to be aware that I am able to resubmit at the next proposal, at the next fund, in the same category, but just explain basically.
No, in the next fund, it's fine. Next fund is perfectly fine. You can do, next fund is okay. Basically, whenever I see something like a moral doubt or something, or should I do this or should I not, I always guide myself with the idea of like, well, just don't be an asshole, right? Would you like someone else to do it? If the answer is no, that means something is wrong with it. We still don't have in Catalyst, and I hope we don't turn into this huge bureaucratic body, right? We have rules, but these rules are created and developed in the community, by the community, from good examples and bad examples, right? And you don't want, to be a bad example. And as long as you have good intentions and you have good, you have good logic why you did what you did, it's perfectly fine, right? It's perfectly fine. But if you are aware, like there were projects that were like, consciously trying to, do these things, that's why some of these rules are in place, because of them. So
absolutely. I think, for all intents and purposes, we assume everybody's trying to do good. And in my case, trying to build on Cardano, knowing the challenges, the lack of developers, and all these things. So yeah, we're all trying to improve the ecosystem, I think we should assume. And this is fantastic. So yeah, thank you. You clarified it for me. Thank you.
No worries. Michele.
So, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Regarding splitting an eventual proposal for a project, you said before it is possible to ask in many categories to ask to be found. As an example, if I have a proposal for which I could have to set up a team and then to hire someone, I could ask my idea to be founded in a certain category, and then ask for the fund to hire someone in the jobs, as an example, jobs category. If in the case one of my two proposals is founded and the other one is not, then I don't have in this case enough funds. Can I refund back? Because if not both are founded, then I don't have now found to do my idea to make
okay, I understand. Well, I would say that if that is the case, I would say that in your proposal, the minimum you should state is, in case one of my proposals don't get funded, I will not continue with the project. Which will, I would say, drastically decrease your chances. But I would suggest in that case that how many proposals you write have, if you get funded for one of them, if one gets funded, make sure that that one has enough funding to deliver that one and just that one, right? Because that's your commitment. You are committing if, you know, people voted for that. People voted for that, so you kind of have an obligation to deliver that.
Yeah, sure.
That's usually how projects, you know, segment their proposals. They try to make it like 3 or 4 smaller projects that kind of continue and that kind of connect together in a greater project.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say probably the best approach is try to divide your project into some pieces that are autonomous in some way. So you will always be able to deliver what you want to deliver for each one of the proposals.
Exactly.
Obviously, this is not only always possible, but I'll try to keep it in this way as much as possible, because it's the only way to even, I don't know, imagine that someone have to evaluate the feasibility of your proposal. And if you are saying that something will be delivered only if another proposal will be funded, it's something that clearly really affects the feasibility of your own proposal. So it's kind of try to stick to something that can be delivered for each proposal. Is probably the best way to go.
Yeah, of course. So this would not be the case to split as an example.
I would say in a project you can always think about I don't know, it clearly depends by the project that you want to deliver, but I think that you can always think at some way to create different parts that are autonomous in some way. So maybe it's not a good choice to split the proposal into one to hire people and the other one to develop something, but maybe split your products into 2 different products, smaller, and hire people for each one of the proposal, something like that.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Rabbit hole, please go on.
Yes, sorry to butt in. I just wanted to follow up on what Michele just said. So if one were to split their project in a way that you have a beginning of your project, like a startup fund that you know is going to deliver, say, for example, a workable solution that you can present to a bunch of beta testers. And then in the second fund, let's say that we're now in fund 8, then we go and ask for further funding to get the project to scale in fund 9 or fund 10. Is that something that is done? Is that something that is accepted or frowned upon? Can we ask for funding over multiple funds?
Definitely. It's
it's
the way
preferred.
to go.
It's a way to go. It's even a preferred and suggested strategy, right? Because I'm much more comfortable to vote for someone asking for 20, 30, 40K in this fund, and then when they deliver, to vote to give them 100, 200, 300K, right? And even more in the next fund. That's the best way. Now, the problem is if it needs to be done properly like that, it needs to be scaled properly, it needs to be organized properly. But I personally prefer that way. That's the best way.
And also consider that there is one problem about this approach, is that you don't know in advance the challenges of the next fund, because they will be voted in the fund itself. So maybe if you plan to deliver something for a specific challenge that is present now in fund 8, maybe this challenge will not be there in fund 9. So this is something to take into account.
Exactly. Now, to be fair, you know, if that specific challenge won't be there, there will be a similar challenge or a challenge that you will be able to submit. But yes, this is a risk. This is a risk, definitely. And the second part of that risk is, even if the same challenge gets funded, you don't know the amount of money allotted to that challenge, right? What happened one time was, Lucio, if you can remind me, wasn't it that dApps and integrations had like $1 million and then it just got back to 250,000, or?
No, I don't think so, but
but developer
ecosystem
did not exist. Like developer ecosystem was one of the largest funds. And I think it had in Fund 6, it had $1 million. And in Fund 7, it was not voted in. So it didn't exist, right? So, and there was open source developer ecosystem that had $250,000. So you, as a developer ecosystem builder, you were counting on, okay, I can apply with 100, 200K and maybe get a decent chance. But now in the next fund, the whole fund is 250K. I cannot ask for 200K, you know, it's going to be, I will not get it. So these are all risks that need to be taken into consideration. Okay, if we don't have any more questions, we're just going to go. Okay, we have some. Okay, go ahead, Usam.
Yes, so I have, I don't know, I say legal, maybe tax question. Maybe you are not the right, the right person to ask me. But I would like to ask a general question about how to sell ADA or how to accept ADA as a legal entity. Maybe your experience on that, because for example, for me or for us, we are a company based in Germany, and I don't know how to accept that. Is it mandatory to have another legal entity in another country, and or how to? Yeah.
For Germany, I don't know, because every country has its own, you know, tax policy, and I am by no means a tax advisor. But I can tell you in Croatia, because I have my own business and, you know, I have tackled this problem. You can get paid in ADA. You just need to issue your invoice in Croatian currency, and then you need to have a legal way, you know, to transfer the ADA on an exchange, and you just need the proof that you exchange it to from ADA to Croatian currency, and you need to pay the tax as it was paid in any other fiat currency, right? That is the cleanest, clearest way in Croatia, and I can commend Croatia for having such, you know, clear tax policy on cryptocurrency payments. But this is a very specific for Croatia. It may be completely different in Germany, I don't know, but you know, this is a good accountant or a tax advisor should be able to guide you on that.
Okay, thank you.
And the last thing that we have today is the Idea Scale. Idea Scale is a website where proposals are officially submitted and where we leave comments and where we chat and all of that. And Lucio has shared the link now for Idea Scale. Community members can provide feedback to proposers, of course. When you submit a proposal, people will comment on the bottom saying nice things and not so nice things, and try to always take the best out of those comments. You know, there will usually, I can tell you, this community is very helpful and collaborative. So sometimes maybe you'll see some kind of negativity, toxicity, but much, much, much rarer and than anything positive, right? You will 99% of the time you will see people working together, working nice together, supporting each other, and all of that. And when you do see something negative, look, try to take the best of it, or don't get too much into, you know, arguments or anything that drains your energy. Take the best of it and move on, basically. Information is checked by IOG. Yes, Idea Scale basically is a service. It's a private company, and IOG had hired them to have a special workspace for Project Catalyst. So we have our own workspace there. And this is like a knowledge management system, I would say, something like that. I don't know. And basically you need to register there, and all the registrations are checked by IOG, and all the info is checked by IOG there. You also apply to be a CA, community advisor. You apply to be a CA on IdeaScale. You'll get a little pop-up when the time comes, and you can say, yes, I want to be a community advisor. And here is the link. We can even maybe, I can show you quickly. Also, Lucio sent the link in the chat. I have it in the presentation. So this is how it looks. It's not always the happiest interface. You will maybe need a little bit of time to get accustomed, but let's say let's say we go to dApps and integrations. This is one of the challenges. Here you have this campaign brief. You have the challenge question: what applications will provide the most value for end users in 2022? And we have the campaign brief, guiding questions, directions, blah, 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 key metrics to measure. So if you plan to, let's say, submit a proposal in this category, you need to read this very thoroughly, understand it, think about it, and address these questions in your proposal. And these are now insight sharing phases. As you can see, some people mistook the insight sharing as the initial proposal submission. So you see, our project will contribute. It's already, talking about their project. I will be submitting a proposal, It's really not about that, the insight sharing. It's about, what can we do? What kind of ways can we interact with, let's see what this says. Yeah, maybe this is something that can be useful. It's okay, Tisha. It's okay. You're not the first one or the last one. I did the same mistake at least twice, so don't worry. But the goal here is to kind of share some kind of an insight, some kind of a new idea, and then get people to kind of, talk about it, work on it, let's say. And if it grows into a proposal, that's fine, but this is not the time to share proposals. That's it. That's all. So these are ideas. I don't know what else can I show you here.
Maybe you can show a proposals from past funds. So to just
yes. Let's see. How do I find them? Which
just go in a campaign, and on the side you will see, on the right side you will see the previous. Yep.
Fund 7. Let's say gamers on chat. I'll show you one of mine. Actually, the one Lucio and me are supposed to be working on. Let's see where it is. Terra Cognita. If I go and search, let's try. 0 campaigns. Nice, very good. Search is not working as well as it should. Also, my internet is not working as well as it should.
Maybe the search is only working on active campaigns, since this is an archived campaign.
I'm not sure about that. I think
Could be.
It's more something in the IdeaScale interface that it's not really.
Yes, IdeaScale is not. Yes.
It will be.
it's not the happiest solution, but hey, it is what it is. So we have to. Let's just open something. Okay, let's say Cardano Craft. This is one.
Just for our knowledge, what's the name of your proposal? Maybe we can find it on our own.
Terra Cognita. TERRA Cognita. Yeah.
Thank you.
Lucio sent the name. Even the proposal is not loading. Amazing. Like I said, also my internet is not the best today.
If I may, actually, I'm having a problem with idea scale. As an example, I get redirected too many times. I can only access when I clear all the cookies, but that does not log in me. Yeah. It may be a problem.
Yes,
Yeah.
idea scale is, like I say, it could be, it's definitely not the happiest solution. Let's try and see. Maybe this. Come on. Yeah, maybe just Lucio, does it maybe work better for you? Can you share your screen?
I can share my screen.
Just to show it.
Okay, just give me a sec. Can you see it? Can you see it? Okay. Okay, this is basically the proposal we submitted in the previous fund, and it was funded. And basically, you can see here the three main information, which are the problem statement, the solution to the problem stated, and the relevant experience. And then we have basically our additional information to the proposal and the detailed plan, which is basically the description, the full description of what we are going to do, and also with some technical aspects about the proposals, how we are going to implement everything. And you can see here a roadmap and the milestones, the success metrics, the KPIs, the key performance indicators. So how we are going to track the success of the project after funded, the team, and the budget. I think for this fund, we will have a different form to submit the proposals, because we will have already a structured form. So there will be this kind of information already defined. So it will be easier probably for proposers to fill in everything. But basically, this is what the community advisor will see in your proposal, and they will basically use the information you provide here to assess your own proposals. And obviously, this is also what the voters will see if they want to vote to basically decide if vote yes or no, or abstain to your proposal itself. And also here at the bottom, you can see there is this comment section, which is basically the section when people can interact directly with you in a public way. So it's really important as a proposer to always take a look at this section and interact with the people that will comment to you, because everything is public. So as a community advisor, for example, if I see a proposer that doesn't reply to the people who wrote comments, it's something that it's not really good, maybe, but just saying it. And that's it, I think. I don't know if we can see something else here. Okay,
if you just press on the top, it says ideate. Ideate, that will be the submit. So that's when we get into the proposal submission phase, that's where you will, that's how you will submit your proposal. But Rabbit Hole, you have a question.
Yes, in regards to this is very informative. Thank you. I just was wondering, so if one is to submit a proposal, and they're doing so with a second entity. Is there a way to directly show the collaboration on idea scale, or to invite them as a co-proposer of sorts?
Yeah, you can do that. If you look at this proposal, for example, you see here that there are multiple proposers, not just only one. So obviously the co-proposers needs to have an account on idea scale, but once they have an account, you can just add them as a co-proposer. So if you look at this, we are all the 4 members of the team. So me, Philip, Victor, we are all there, and it's kind of a good way to show the involvement of various actors in our proposals. And obviously this will be taken into account by the community advisor. So basically, in the form of the proposal submission, you have the choice to select the co-proposers.
Thank you, Lucio.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we took way longer than we expected, and I'm sorry for keeping you so long. If you have any more questions, we will be answering. But if not, actually, we have finished this part. Lucio, if you have something to add, for sure.
Yeah. If not, just yeah, a quick additional information. I shared in the chat the various contacts that you can use to contact us. So we have a Discord server, a Telegram channel, the YouTube channel where we collect all the previous workshops. Also, this one will be there, and the Twitter account. And also there is this Linktree website with the links to the next workshops. So if you want to, for example, today we have a really busy schedule with 4 workshops for the different challenges. So you can go there and check for the next appointments. And that's it for me. Thank you everyone for being here, and thank you, Philip. Thank you
for listening. Thank you for being patient with us. Thank you for the questions. Good luck, of course, in proposing, community advising, voting, whatever you choose to do, and hopefully stick around for a long time, and let's build this out together.
Thank you for your help to the community and the ecosystem, guys. We appreciate it.
Right. Very helpful. Very helpful. I appreciate it as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I will stop recording.